Okay, Kevin, I think I made some good progress on your program. So um, I think I can summarize everything I needed to do, which really wasn't a lot. So I came to the top and I noticed that you had only one of these interfaces implemented. So I made a note that you needed to implement both the action listener and the item listener interface. And now I think I understand what your question was about. Maybe you didn't know you could implement multiple interfaces. Maybe or maybe not. Okay. So I made a couple other changes. So I saw you had all this stuff in there. I'm like, oh no. So a couple of words of wisdom here. Like this was fine, this is fine. But notice this, like you keep repeating code over and over again, right? And that's where a loop comes in really handy. So I kind of moved some things around and added some code. So I rewrote your last man standing. So, it starts the same. We super and we set layout flow. And then I did one of these default close operation to exit on close. Then I added a greeting. So what is the greeting? Go to the top and I added just a message at the top, a JLabel greeting, to tell me what to do. Maybe you did that somewhere else in here. I didn't really notice. I didn't see anything. So I thought that would be helpful. And then I also notice here, I wanted to take the message and set the font called serif bold. So at the top, I also added this font. I declared this font. So, those were optional, but I just thought it made it look nicer. Now, so then I took a lot of what you did in here and I played around with it. So I see we've got all these as defined as checkboxes. But I took some liberties to do things in the loop to make it easier. So notice I have this basic for loop, and I'm basically saying for every element in the box, give me a new checkbox, and then I'm going to add the box, which you did here. You just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is why again a loop is good. And then here I added the item listener, which I see that you did that. And then you also did set selected false. So I took that out and that seemed to work better. And then I added the button. And then to the button, I added an action listener. So hopefully that answers your question, how we can have an item listener and an action listener. You got to implement both of them there. So watch what happens when I run. I mean, at the end of the day, I really didn't do a lot here for you. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's try that again. So now I'm playing the game. It'll run. Oh, sorry. I used JGrasp. Forget it. Okay, select 1, 2, 3 boxes. Okay, now the only thing I might, recommend is some kind of closing message, whether you win or lose, but between you or I, this is good enough. I say just move on, okay? So hopefully that's helpful. I know, believe me, I think this stuff is tricky, tricky, tricky. I'm not sure what's trickier, this or some of the stuff we did in the last chapter was also very tricky. So the good news is chapter 15 is a lot easier. So hopefully that you'll appreciate that. All right, Kevin, you did a nice job reaching out. I hope I did a decent job explaining. I know when you're not under the time gun, this is the kind of stuff that it's kind of fun to play with on your own when you have more time. So anyway, okay, let me know if you have other questions. Thanks. Bye.